Hi guys, according to timeanddate.com, it is 12 minutes past 3 a.m. and today is the 3rd of June 2021 and you're listening to Dearest Diamond, a Diamond's Memoir. My name is Diamond and you're welcome. You're welcome to episode 10. Yay! We actually got to two digits. Oh my goodness. Okay, my day is not going as I planned, or this whole night is not going as I planned. So, the intention was definitely to sound more excited than this. I actually feel more excited than this, I think, but situations around me right now, circumstances around me is not allowing me to sound as excited as I would like. But it's alright. It's nice to be here, man. I actually got to 1-0. I feel so proud and I feel so good. It's been 16 weeks since I started Dearest Diamond. And yeah, I'm in episode 10. So let's see. I made an initial recording that was yesterday morning. I went on a walk and that was, I think, by like past 5 a.m. I went on a walk with Zeus and Hera and I made a recording. But then I wasn't, I don't know, when I later on when I listened to it, I didn't feel like it was good enough for episode 10. So I decided, okay, I was going to make another recording. And then, okay, luckily there was lights, but I have to wait for everybody to go to bed and for the whole place to be quiet and, try to get my thoughts together and all. But alas, as I was done with, everybody had kind of quieted down. That was by 2 this evening. Alas, as I sat down to record, guess what? Nigeria did what it knows how to do best. So I have been should I not? Well, here I am. I hope I feel comfortable about this in the end to post it. But yeah, I'm lying down on my bed. There's no lights. Everywhere is quiet. Once in a while, you might hear my dogs bark. I don't know what their problem is. They've been barking all night. They refuse to shut up. Okay. Episode 10. Dearest Diamond. It's a memoir. Yeah, it's a memoir. So I was looking back and I was going through all my many voice memos that I always record on my phone. And I realized that the first time the idea for Dearest Diamond came to me was on the 24th of July last year. It was, I think that was still during lockdown. Yeah, we're still, I'm not sure if we're still under lockdown, but yeah, things were still quite tight. And I was, feeling oh, okay. There's a lot of growth process I felt that, happened for me in that period. And I was feeling I probably want to document this. But the initial plan was I said I was going to say, it was supposed to be called Dear Diamond Podcast. And I think I was listening to the podcast. That's not the podcast, sorry. I was listening to the voice notes that I made to, mental notes to do certain things. And I was just laughing at all the plans that I made and I didn't come through with. Anyway, fast forward, because from there I listened and I was I was going to start it in December, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it didn't happen. So fast forward to February this year, I thought about it again. And then I reached out to one of my friends. I also call him my mentor because I learned from him a lot. And I told him about it. Okay, he has worked with a media. He has done something in media. So I'm look, I need your help. How far? I reached out to one other of my friend that could help with, a logo kind of thing. And they actually did intend to help, but somehow things just kept dragging. And the intention was to release on my birthday, to launch rather on my birthday. But it just kept dragging. And then I remember that then this my friend, he told me that I should we just talked about it and what that first episode could be like. And he was okay, I should talk about my childhood to adulthood. And it was okay, but somehow it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't happen. Yeah. And so I just felt like, okay, look, these things are not coming through. I have to come through for myself. And so I went ahead and did the logo that is now Dearest Diamond. I don't even know if it's called that logo, but yeah, that thing that you see, and then I did that myself. And then I went ahead and I decided to do a countdown, when it was so close. I was just like, okay. I remember that my birthday this year, I was super, 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 super busy. I had things to do. There's this one project I was pursuing, and then I had to edit the recording that I had already done. And I really didn't, when you're moved to learn stuff, just learn it. Initially, I had learned a bit about how to use Audacity. Was it either till around last year? Because I bought a microphone shortly after lockdown started. I ordered a microphone on Jumia and I decided to start doing voiceovers. Although that didn't go out as planned, but I had a microphone, and then during the period I learned how to use Audacity. So when the time came, I already had the things I needed, and so I had to start editing on that day of my birthday. It was a bit clumsy, and I didn't even have any outline of what I wanted to talk about. I just knew that, okay, I was going to do a countdown, and it went, and then I launched it and it started. So really, honestly, that's how Dearest Diamond, Diamond's Memoir, came to be. And well, it's been good. I was consistent for the first 6-7 weeks. Yes, for the first 7 weeks I was consistent, and then I had a period of a 6 weeks period of crazy, and but in all, well, this today, I don't even know that. No, that was now yesterday. I had a couple of things to do. I was just feeling very stuck. I was supposed to submit like 2 jobs I got off of Fiverr. I and Easy, we run some gigs on Fiverr together. So my own aspect, I got some jobs and I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to watch a video and learn the stuff I'm trying to learn, and then I was also supposed to do another thing. The day just dragged and I wasn't feeling myself. I was having this anxiety thing where, I don't know, my heart was just skipping, where your heart skips beats. I don't know if it's only me that happens to, but it's just happening. And by 8 yesterday, I was feeling just like, what's happening? So I decided to go on a run, and I really, really pushed myself, and I ran, and it's quite good. And then it was during that run that I had the idea that in episode 10, I'm actually going to tell you, because I remember in my last episode, I did say that I was going to tell you more about myself. So I'm going to kind of, in the next few minutes, just briefly, give you a brief rundown of my childhood to adulthood. So I hope you enjoy listening to it. You should enjoy listening to it, but my full name is Patrick Udo Nsikak Diamond. Patrick Udo is my surname. Nsikak Abasi is my Efik Ibibio name. It means nothing is too difficult for God, according to what my mother told me anyway. When I went online, it actually means nothing is too heavy for God, but same anyway, nothing is too difficult for God. And then my other name is Diamond. My other name used to be Pamela. But when I was in SS3, I went to one church after writing, or when I had finished SS3, when I had finished secondary school, I went to one church after writing covenant exam, and the pastor said my name, Pamela, was not a good name, and I should change it. Oh my God, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, because I liked that name. I liked being called Pamela, and he made me change it. Or my mom insisted after he said that. My mom is a pastor said this, we have to do it kind of person. So she insisted, and I ended up changing the name. I think that's why on my Instagram, my personal Instagram, Diamond_Ella. So yes, the Ella comes from Pamela, and then Diamond, my present name. So that's my name. And then I grew up in Lagos. Yes, I grew up in Lagos, in Satellite Town, in CBN Estate 1. I went to primary school in Prime Montessori School, still in Satellite Town, along Old Ojo Road. One of my earliest memories of being a child is to ask. I remember I must have been less than 3, because I must have been less than 3, because I remember I could only start school when I clocked 3. Yeah, so I remember standing. My dad was lying down, and I was standing beside him, and I was telling him that I wanted to start going to school. Yeah, I remember I was telling him I wanted to start going to school, and then I do not really remember if it was after I told him I wanted to go to school that my mom went to find out if I could resume or not. I just know that I couldn't resume at the time because I wasn't up to 3 years old then. Yeah, but anyway. So I was quite a smart child. In primary 6, I was in my school then. They used to do this franchise thingy. Is it franchise they call it? I don't know what it's called. I can't really remember, but voting system for prefects, how to choose prefects and all that. Yeah. And I was chosen in primary 6. I was the vice president. After primary school, I went to just one in Learning Field. Learning Field was also in Satellite Town. It was in Close. Yeah, it was in a place called Close. I went to just one in Learning Field, and then after just one, life changed. Life really, 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 really changed. So after just one, life changed. Like I said, we had to move to ABJ. My mom got transferred to Abuja, and we had to move. And my dad at the time had lost his job in Lagos, and so he got a job in Akwa Ibom, and so he had to move to Akwa Ibom. I remember when I first moved to ABJ. By the way, I'm the second child and first daughter of my parents. Yes, I have an older brother and 3 younger sisters, which I love so much. And yeah, they're like the best parts of my life. Part of the best parts of my life. So yeah, and then when we moved to ABG, it was so difficult. It was really, really difficult for me adjusting. I think one of the first times I realized how much I do not like change was when my friend then, when I was in... I think it was just after nursery 2. Yeah, no. Just after primary, we're still in primary 2 or so then. And then they had to move to ABJ. They left earlier than we did. They had to move to ABJ. I remember feeling like I was really going to miss her and all, although I don't know if I really understood the gravity of it. But yeah, but then the second time I realized how much I did not like change at all was when we had to move to ABJ, and it was just crazy. I used to have the craziest. Sometimes rain will fall and I'll wear my raincoat and go under the rain and just be playing in the rain and be crying because I missed my dad, and life was just not the same. You're coming from living in an estate to living somewhere where we had to fetch water from the well, and where I had to go take the public transport to go to school with all the traffic, and we're living in Maraba then, so it was like the switch was crazy. It was really crazy. But yeah, as much as I don't like change, I've realized that there are certain people in my life that I would never have met if certain changes didn't have to happen. So sometimes when I think about it and I want to begin to feel like I'm like, nah, I wouldn't have met this person or that person, if these changes hadn't happened. Yeah, unfortunately, right now, if you tell my dad that the period where he wasn't around affected our lives negatively, he doesn't seem to see it that way. African parents can just be so weird. But anyway, yeah. So when I moved to ABJ, I went ahead to do... By the way, yes, my first Valentine's gift. I received my first Valentine's gift from my then crush in just one. So yeah, because I'm trying to memories of certain times in my life. So yeah, and then when I moved to ABJ, I attended community secondary school. That was where I did just 2 and just 3. And yeah, I met amazing people too. And it was interesting. Afterwards, we moved again. I swear, I hate instability. I because of how much things had to change for me. I feel like one of the major things that I want to be able to give to my kids is stability. I want them to grow up in a stable environment where they can, grow up in one place and, just have stability, really. Even if, I feel like somehow stability might not even necessarily be your location. It could just be the home. It could just be, family. And anyway, so that's one of the things like I feel like I really, really want to give to my kids. Anyway, so after just 2, just 3, we moved again, and I had to change schools again, and I went to King of Kings. It was totally not what I was used to. It was like no school I had ever gone. So it was, but I met again one of my best girls right now. I met her there, and yeah, so it's totally all worth it. And it was like one of the craziest times of my life. SS1, honestly, and SS1 was one of I flew fence in SS1. What didn't we do? But anyway, and then after that we had to go to Word of Faith. In Word of Faith, that's where I did SS2 and SS3. At this time things were not so good financially, so we had moved to this house. So at that moment I was really happy to be in boarding school, even though I had issues with a lot of seniors. First off, people have issues. Then when people get to meet me, the first thing they have issues with me is how I talk. My sister and I, we seem to talk some type of way, I guess, from what I've come to know, or come to hear people say a lot. And yeah, that was a problem for a lot of people. So they gave a lot of wahala, and I remember I received general beating and all, but still at the time being in school to me was better than being at home, because I didn't like the house that we were living in at the time, and it was just totally it was crazy. But sometimes when I think about all these moments, I think about my mom. And I remember in one of my first or second episode, I talked about how she must chill in this life. My mom has given her life for us, and well, I really do hope to be able to give her the world the moment I can afford it. Yeah, but anyway, that's by the way. So immediately I finished from secondary school, I went to uni. I attended Landmark University, where I studied mechanical engineering. When I was younger, I would always say I wanted to be an astrologer, right? Yes, astrologer. I wanted to study astronomy or something, but and I always used to say that I would go to the sun. Oh, childhood dreams. But yeah, it's not impossible. But anyway, I used to say that I would go to the sun. Well, yeah, right now I don't think I'm doing that. Anyway, yeah, so I immediately left to uni, and then uni I did mechanical engineering, and it was good times. And after that I served. I camped in Enugu State, and then I got redeployed thanks to Kiwi and Biodo. I got redeployed to Abuja, thankfully. And then I worked with Costaris when I got back to Abuja for service. Anyway, I got retained immediately after service as a contract staff. I got retained, and then during that period after I got retained as a contract staff, I started my master's. I was doing engineering management in ABU Zaria. I started my master's, and then after my master's, or during my master's, I got another job with the federal government of Nigeria. Yeah, that's kind of how it's been. Through this whole process, I have met amazing people. Sometimes when I think about my life right now and I want to be ungrateful or I want to stress, the way I've said it, yes, my life has kind of moved from one stage to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and there's kind of been no hitch, and I'm really thankful for that. But like I said, part of the reason I started this podcast in the first place was because I was supposed to be like, it's just kind of a place of gratitude for me, because sometimes, or prior to this, I used to forget to be thankful. I wake up, I don't even know if it's intentional, but sometimes I find out that I wake up and I just feel like, what the hell am I doing in my life? And I'm crying and I'm feeling sad. And, sometimes I've talked to someone and he will remind me that, look, you have it, not seem to, but you have life really going good for you. Why do you beat yourself up and, feel like you're not doing anything? But I've come to, find out that it's not necessarily just a me thing. In Nigeria, it's like, if you're not, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? You feel like maybe, life is just passing you by. So let me tell you, a few abstract things about me. I'm terrible at saying goodbyes. I think I already said that. I hate change. I'm very terrible at saying goodbyes. I'm terrible at letting go. I do not know how to let go of relationships with people. If you're my friend, it's kind of like you're my friend for life, sort of. I'm still friends with my first ever friend from nursery to I'm still friends with. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to let go, and I don't know how to say goodbye. It's like I cry about the most ridiculous things. I am emotional as shit. I don't know. If even in trying to express myself, if I cannot get out what I want to say, sometimes it comes out as tears, unfortunately. When I watch movies, I cry about the most stupid things, you know, the littlest gesture. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. Love is, well, I don't know. I love my sisters. I love my family. My mom. I used to say, daddy's girl, you know, but somehow when life just happens and, you know, anyway, I love my folks. I love my sisters. My sisters are my friends. They're my G's. Even the ones that I'm older than, I don't necessarily place that age when it comes to them. I don't really reason it because they're my guys, man. They're family. I cannot be doing too much seniority for them. Even though, I think I'm like 10 years older than my last sister. Yeah, but still, you need to see the way we play naked together. Anyway, so I was saying I have amazing people in my life. I was saying that when I want to start being ungrateful and all, I think about the amazing people I have in my life. And I don't know how or what I did to deserve them, but nah, I really do have amazing people in my life, and I am grateful for that. You know, there's a part of me that's always afraid that things might go bad when it gets to my turn. I don't know why. Somehow, yes, as much as life has, you know, happened and, you know, just been good so far, sometimes I just feel like this next phase, what if it doesn't work out? This, you know, there's always that anxiety and always that fear, but it always works out. And somehow God has just been really, really good. I'm very flighty. I cannot be made to sit down in a place for too long. I think I said in my last episode about how my attention span, I'm not. So initially when I was growing up, this episode is becoming really long already. This will be my longest episode. Anyways, episode 10, it has every right to be long. When I was growing up, so I was a very smart kid, very smart. I used to sit down at the back. I was a noisemaker, but I'll always come out with good grades. So initially I didn't understand why things were like that. I just thought it was me. So I'm not the type of child that will read, you know, or I would be at the back. I used to say that I didn't know how. I had this friend, I didn't know how he used to, you know, pay attention and then maybe I'm not one. Anyway, bottom line, I didn't used to know how to pay attention. Even through uni, I'll always sit down at the back, either eating or doing something. But I now understand why. I read, when I had that thingy that previous week, I got to read some things and I saw that, it's a pattern that's common. But so now I understand why. But that's it. So I'm very flighty. I know how to cook, but it's not my favorite thing. I hate going to the market to buy food or clothes or whatever. Nah, I don't like shopping. I used to think that it's just a market thing, or but I don't know how to make decisions quickly. So if you ask me, Diamond, go to the market or go and buy something or choose this, clothes or shoes, it stresses me out because I'm like, okay, which one am I going to take? Although there are some times where I just see something and then, I want that. One of those beautiful moments. They don't happen all the time. But I love to read books. I love perfumes. I love shoes. I've grown up to realize that I love candles. I love plants. Yes, so I love plants and I love spaces. I don't think if I have a home in the future, my house will be very cramped. No, I like spaces. I like to see every part of my room and be able to, when I'm going to clean, I like to be able to. I'm talking too much now. I totally love large bodies of water. I cannot wait to travel the world. I can't stress that enough. I really cannot wait to travel the world. And the thought of having, I'm not going to say this part, but I already started saying it, so let me say, the thought of having kids and being all responsible bothers me, man, I swear. I'm not the most careful person. So sometimes I'm worried, let me not go and forget my something important one day, because man, I've forgotten my phone in the my phone's in the most ridiculous place. I mean, say that this particular phone I'm using right now has just made up its mind that it is stuck with me. It's not going anywhere, because you don't want to know the places I've forgotten my phone. I went somewhere to pick up something one day and I dropped my phone. I came out of my car, I dropped my phone on another car, and I entered back my car and drove off and left my phone there. I'm just grateful it didn't, not somehow, somebody. I've entered taxi and forgotten my phone and come out. For some reason, I don't even know, my friend collected the taxi guy's number, and that was how we're able to retrace him and get my phone. So I'm not the most careful person. So the thought of being responsible for small people, I'm like, whoo. Anyway, but I know that when the time comes, I'll figure it out. And yeah, so I would always try to remember why I started this podcast. Like I said, it's a memoir indeed. I really want to, I'm going to be phenomenal. My name is going to be heard like all over the world, and I want to look back on these times and know, how much I've grown and see how far I've come and what I've been through, and, all these moments of fear and doubt, and, just want to be able to laugh at myself and get the details right, instead of having to now, just like I'm trying to remember all the things and having it all jumbled up. But yeah, I want to be able to get the details right and all. Let me see. I have sold food in school. I sold food. I don't know if I did it because I needed money or I did it for fun. I can't remember right now. But yeah, one time I traveled to Ghana. Yeah, actually, I've never been out of the country. The farthest I've been out of Nigeria is Ghana. Yeah, by the way, that's also detail. So one time I traveled to Ghana, I came back with materials. I tried to sell material. I'm not a good marketer in terms of physical markets now. I've sold slippers because most of the time I end up giving out those things. I end up giving out the remaining. Oh, I learned to sew. I've realized that sewing is not my thing. I can't sit down for long putting all that thing together now. I sold heels during NYC. In the end, I ended up taking most of the heels for myself and dashing some to my friends. Didn't work. I've driven a taxi. Yeah, I drive Bolts up until my accident. I drove Bolts. So I think I'm quite what's the word? I can't remember the word right now, but no, indigenous is not it. That's not the word. I don't know, but I'm not lazy. I think I'm not lazy. I don't know. I don't like stress, but I'm not lazy. And finally, I'm learning to listen more than I speak. Yeah. So that's about me today, guys. It's a memoir indeed. Dearest Diamond. Journal. Document your life. You're going to be phenomenal. You're going to be great. Write things down, so that one day when you have to tell your story, it will be seamless, because you would have to tell your story. Imagine Jeff Bezos saying he doesn't want to talk about his life, or Zuckerberg saying he doesn't want to write a story about himself. Nobody's going to want to hear that. So, thank you guys for listening once again. I know this one is long. I hope you listen to it to the end, and it's okay if you don't really. That's not the right thing to say, but okay. Listen, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Yeah, that's what I mean. Dearest.Diamond. And send me an email if you want to. Really, I'm open to that. My email is patrickudo.diamond@gmail.com. Yes, that's my email. Anytime. Send me an email. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope it was fun for you. See you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.